LG might be amongst the last prominent OEMs to release the flagship smartphone of 2015, but it has managed to come out with an impressive upgrade over the last year's LG G3. This is Raju from TechPP.com, and this is my review of the LG G4. When it comes to smartphones, LG is always known as the other Korean smartphone company, as it has always lived in the shadow of Samsung without much success to boast of. Well, that has sort of changed with this year's G4. Unlike Samsung and most other companies this year, LG isn't compromising features for the looks. With the G4, LG has tried to make a phone which has everything for everyone. It comes with a both removable battery and a micro SD slot, something Samsung sacrificed for the design. Although this particular review unit is a Korean version, the Indian model comes with a dual SIM feature, which is a rarity amongst flagship smartphones. As you would expect, the G4 isn't as pretty or unique as the Galaxy S6 or HTC's One M9. But hey, LG has tried something new with the leather back cover on the G4. This isn't fox leather like what Samsung tried with the Note series, but genuine leather in 5 different colors. Of course, I love the touch, feel and grip that comes with the leather back, but for the wear and tear which sort of dented the experience a bit. Thankfully, the back is replaceable, but it's not something that you would expect from a premium flagship smartphone. Going beyond the leather bag, the G4 comes in plastic bags as well, with metallic and ceramic finish. The first time you pick up the G4, you would notice that it carries a curved back, not as drastic as the G Flex, but just enough to fit the curves on your palm. That too comes with an odd compromise. The phone wobbles around when you place it on a flat surface and practically unusable unless you pick it up or place it on a dock. Also, the LG G4 has kept all the buttons on the back of the phone, so there are no buttons on either sides and the bezels are pretty thin like it was on the G3. The display though marks a considerable improvement over the G3 and is near perfect. The 5.5-inch Quad HD Quantum IPS display is gorgeous to look and is possibly the second best after the OLED display we saw on the Galaxy S6. Compared to the G3, this one has deeper contrast, deeper blacks and better color overall. All in all, it's an awesome display for watching movies or playing games, and paired with a decent speaker on the back, which might not be as good as the One M9 or the iPhone 6, but just enough to provide a good multimedia experience. And now for the real deal. The G4 is rocking the latest Android 5.1 lollipop with LG's own skin on top of it. Let me make it clear right away. I've not been a huge fan of LG's UI over the years, but credits to them to making this faster and less cartoonish than before. LG has managed to cut some slack and UI feels a bit lighter and breeze through in most parts. LG has retained some useful features from stock Android like the multitasking menu and the smart notifications, but has its own set of features thrown in here and there. One particularly notable feature is the new dual window feature, which is copied from Samsung, but being a 5.5-inch display, you can probably make use of this screen real estate if you really wish to, but I don't really feel the need to use it that often. They have tried to keep the settings page uncluttered, but sadly I'm not a big fan of tabs. Thankfully, the knock on and knock off features to switch on and off the display remains. Coming to the performance, LG has seemingly taken a step back by opting for the Snapdragon 808 instead of Snapdragon 810 like we saw on the G Flex 2. The 808 is a 6-core processor and is paired with 3GB of RAM. Together, they put all doubts to rest. It's a breeze using the phone for most parts. Gaming on this beautiful Quad HD screen was smooth and very pleasing to the eyes, and overall there were hardly any stutters or hiccups through my month-long usage of the G4, which is rather surprising for a LG phone with such a heavy UI. Sadly, there were a couple of forced closures of apps and random errors like these, which slightly frustrated me at times, but these were isolated and rare to worry about. The real highlight of the G4 is its camera. It's arguably the best camera smartphone we have seen this year, and it's not because of any spreadsheet breaking hardware as such. The 16 megapixel shooter on the rear comes with a large f1.8 aperture, laser autofocus, LED flash, and a color spectrum sensor. Optical image stabilization has improved as well, and it's possibly the best again we have seen on an Android device this year. The camera interface is simple to start with and has option to take either photos or videos by just clicking the appropriate buttons. Digging deep into the settings, you will get to see the manual mode, which provides a range of customizations from changing white balance to ISO to exposure to shutter speed, all in a neatly arranged menu. But for the most part, the auto mode should suffice for most people. The G4 is capable of shooting amazing pictures, as I mentioned earlier. More than anything else, the G4 gets the feel right. This is something that I would like to stress about. Most smartphone cameras fail to get the feel of the present condition right. By feel, I mean to say the combination of lighting and colors. This is where I think the color spectrum sensor is adding a great value to the G4 camera. The low f1.8 aperture helps shooting in low light and also adds superior depth of field on macro shots. At times, the software processing tries to over-sharpen the image, but you can choose to shoot in RAW and process the photos yourself if you are very keen on that. The micro SD slot on the back is particularly useful in this scenario, as the RAW pictures can take up a lot of space. Video shooting in both daylight as well as in low light conditions were pretty good as well. LG has managed to stuff in that f1.8 lens on the front camera as well, and that coupled with a skin smoothing software helps in getting a great quality selfies. More than anything else, the G4 provides possibly the easiest Android camera shooting experience, and that's a big deal for sure. Till now, almost everything seemed hunky-dory, but the G4 isn't perfect smartphone that we all were looking for, and that's really unfortunate. It has an Achilles heel, and that's a pretty big one at that, which is the battery. Having seen some reviews even before I got my review in it, I was expecting a decent battery life on the G4. The 3000 mAh battery looked pretty decent to power a 5.5-inch 2K display and not so battery hungry Snapdragon 808. Sadly, it falls flat on its face. I could hardly manage 3.5 hours of screen on time most of the days, which is like not too bad as such, but the real problem is with the standby battery life. Even on Wi-Fi and overnight, the battery on G4 was draining by 3 to 4% every hour. With my normal usage, I could hardly even get past 12 hours of usage and ended up charging the G4 at least twice a day. Thankfully, the G4 supports Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0, which can fasten the whole process of charging the battery, and also the battery is removable, and LG is throwing an extra one within the package here in India, which is again a welcome thing. So here is the deal. The LG G4 is a near perfect smartphone with stunning camera, an awesome display, a powerful processor, and a decent Android skin, but possibly plagued by a pretty awful battery and not so great build quality. If you like this particular video, do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such videos on the latest gadgets and gizmos. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. This is Raju from TechPP.com signing off. See you in the next video.